so much. Congrats on the
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Joining us from North Carolina is head coach Courtney Banghart, along with student athletes Lexi Donarski and Indya Nivar. If you have a question, please raise your hand and we will get a mic over to you. Please introduce yourself and provide the name of the media outlet you are representing, and we will take questions from Zoom at the end. If you're on Zoom and have a question, please use the raise hand feature. We'll begin with an opening statement from Coach before taking questions from the room, so go ahead when you're ready, Coach.
Yeah, well, a couple things. First off, really grateful to there were a lot of Tar Heel fans there. Some I know and some I don't. But there were a lot of Tar Heel fans who brought our team a lot of energy throughout the game. It matters to us, so thanks. Also, really great to have Alyssa back. Obviously, the heart of a winner. And we've been patient with her recovery, and it paid off because she's ready now and she's helping us out. Hats off to Boston College. I mean, they shoot 31% on the year from three, and they gave us their best shot, right? They shot almost 50% from three. These guys are tired of hearing me say it, but I always say, let the math be math, right? And so they really did stick to the game plan really well, and they forced us to play a different way. Got into our pressure, got into an off-centered zone, because we had to. And that also loosened us up on offense. I thought on offense we were a bit slow, played a little bit less aggressively than we were. Give a lot of credit to these two, especially Indya, who was just like kind of triggered a lot of an aggressive attack. Hard to win in March. Certainly glad we did. Glad we're getting healthier and healthier, and excited to see what this team can keep doing.
Thanks. We'll start here in the front row. If we can just make our way down the front, that would be great. And if you need a certain player or coach to address it, please just make sure you mention that.
WCHL, chapelboro.com. There was an extended stoppage when they were reviewing a potential flagrant on Alyssa. You guys are down 9, 63-54. Can you talk about what the mood was in that huddle and what you said to really spark the run?
It's an experienced group. I think their backs were against the wall. This is a team that hasn't been great against teams that on paper they're better than, right? And we've over the last couple weeks, and so we just we knew what we needed to do defensively, and then offensively just really implored them to find their way to get into hips, get outside hips, finish outside their body, really not settle, and so. Again, I give Indya, I think when you watch that game back, you'll see Indya had some really key offensive possessions for us. Even if she wasn't the finisher, she was the attacker. And so, I think, I'm not sure it was the extended timeout. I think it was an opportunity for our guys to just make one more play.
If we can go to RL right next to.
Indya, RL Biden with Tar Heel Tribune. You had arguably your best game of the season against Virginia, and then today, you had so many, you led the team in assists and you did so many things. What's working for you the last two games?
Just finally seeing my work show in the game, I think. I've been putting in so much extra time on my finishes, on my drives, on my reads and stuff, and it's finally showing, and I think that's what we needed to help the team win tonight, and then I needed a little bit extra in Virginia, but yeah, I know we're going to need that moving forward.
We'll continue our way down the front, please.
Brendan Potts, World Exposure Report. This is a two-parter for Coach. You talked about the home crowd here in North Carolina, and this game feels like a game of momentum swings. How do you feel like the crowd played a role in the fourth quarter of that game to help you gain the edge? And you're potentially going to play at home for about the next month. How do you feel that helps your team as we get into the heart of March Madness?
Yeah. Well, first off, I'm not sure this is quite a home court advantage, right? We played here earlier to UConn, lost. My record at the ACC tournament is I don't even know, but not something I brag about. And I think a lot of these fans, honestly, they were in Louisville and they were in Clemson and it's really remarkable. I think you could put this tournament on the moon and you'd have a lot of Tar Heel fans there because of who these people are. I keep hearing that from some of our most loyal supporters. Just they love Carolina women's basketball, but they love these humans. And I always tell them, well, they're second in line to me, right? This is my group. And then I think the hosting opportunity that we've continued to earn is great. great. I mean, for us to be able to play, you know, in such a storied arena, you know, in a basketball state, it's awesome, and it'll be well received and it'll be well earned, you know. But we're focused on the next thing, which is a really good Florida State team. A team that beat us at the buzzer the last time we played them. And so we know we've got a good challenge ahead of us, and we're looking forward to that one as well.
Stay in the front on our right.
Coach Skip Foreman with the News and Record. You had a 9-point deficit, but you managed to fight it back. First part of the question is, was there anything strategically that you did? Second question, Alyssa gave you 24 minutes today in her first game back.
Yeah.
Any after effects, or did she handle it to your satisfaction?
I mean, she was texting me late last night about, I don't care what the minute restriction is, Coach, I can go, right? So I am not strong enough to hold Alyssa back. That's not going to be a thing, right? And so she'll be fine. She's always fine. The only way I can hold her back is to not play her, right? And we'll play her. So not gonna worry about Alyssa. And then the first part of the question, I think, yeah, we were down 9, you know, and so we went a little bit more to our off-front zone and decided to extend the pressure. I thought against Virginia, we didn't play well tired. Right, and I think the courage of this group that they played well tired, right? That takes courage, and it was really fitting that the last time out, that was our shortcoming. We looked tired and we played tired and we got quiet tired, and then fast forward less than a week and they did the opposite. So you know, they get all the credit. I think I yelled at them a little bit, but they get the credit because they made those words turn into action.
Go in the back left, and then if we can also get a mic in the third row here, please.
Debbie Stroman, WCHL Chapelboro. Lexi, there is no doubt your name gets circled on scout reports for great shooting. But time and time again, you continue to get open towards the end of games. So what is your secret sauce? Are you running around like Steph? Or are you just waiting for certain spots and just wait for the ball?
I mean, I think it's some of both. A lot of them are not off of a dribble. I would say the majority are probably catch and shoot, which stems from usually a dribble penetration or some type of pressure on the rim, whether it's a post entry or some guard winning the paint or something. So I would say that the majority of it comes from one of my teammates getting the ball into the paint and the defense all collapsing and kicking it out.
Go here in the third row, and then we'll be prepared to bring it back to the front.
Kate Shoemaker with the Daily Tar Heel. Lexi and Indya, 20 of the 24 points in the fourth quarter were scored by you two and then Maria and Alyssa. I mean, what is this veteran group of you guys playing together for so long? How does that provide stability? And then when you know you got to dig in deep, how does that kind of work effectively?
This is our second year playing together, and I think we just have that trust in one another, especially in those crunch times. We just know that all of us are going to give all that we have and that we have enough to beat whoever is in front of us. So that trust in each other, I feel like that really showed tonight at the end.
Yeah, thanks. We'll go in the front left.
Coach Michael Coe, WCHL, chapelboro.com. What was the defensive plan on Wagner? She dropped 32 against Syracuse yesterday, and today she has only 5 and only makes 1 shot from the floor.
Yeah, it was chest up on the ball, man. Just got to keep your chest in front of the ball. And then I always say, what's everybody else doing? Right? So you can let your teammates play on islands 1v1, or you can recognize it at the team game, right? And so we wanted to have primary defenders chest the ball as best they could. We forced her to make 18-footers. We didn't bite on pull-ups, on pump fakes. And then what is everybody else doing? So regardless of helping off the strong side or digging off of, it's who are you guarding and how can you be worried about the major threats? And then keeping her off the glass. That's not easy, especially with how much rotational rebounding she requires. And certainly glad to have Alyssa back to help in that category.
We'll go to RL in the front middle.
Yeah, Lexi, what were the emotions when you were down by 9? Take me through those last few minutes. Obviously, you made a huge 3 to kind of put the game away. You're looking at possibly losing the being able to host an NCAA tournament if you drop this game.
Yeah, I think it was just igniting the fire within each other and being like, this is feeling similar to what happened against Virginia and refusing to accept that that was going to happen again. And so I really feel like it came from within all of us, and just knowing that like we're better than this and we're not going to accept anything but the best from each other and from ourselves. So just continuing to get better and improve throughout the course of conference.
Stay in the third row. Then next will be Lindsay on the left in the third row.
Megan Smith from the Daily Tar Heel. Coach, any update on Renaya?
Soon. Soon. She warmed up. Yeah, soon. I mean, this team has done so much. This tournament means a lot to us, but so does the NCAA tournament. And, you know, doing the best we can to make sure that we're healthiest when we can be. Obviously, the fact that she's warming up, I think she's waiting for her name to be called. But, you know, we're soon. We're gonna take it kind of day by day, truly. I know that's not great for media.
Lindsay Gibbs with Power Plays. Building on what Arl asked about being down and, you know, facing possibly a third loss in the row to kind of end this spell. They were shooting at one point 8 of 8 from 3.
I mean, come on.
In the second
Come on.
half.
Come on, give it to
How
me.
do you keep from panicking at that moment? Like, it just feels like everything they were doing was going in.
Yeah. And that's what, you know, I hate to be so honest, but that's what you earn when you're a top 15 team in the country, right? You earn that the basket looks a little bit bigger because you're kind of playing with, like, you know, you're not really expected to win, so you kind of it can be looser. And it's on us to play with that ranking, with the puffing our chest out a little bit. But I liked our coverages. I have to eat some of those because I told us we're helping off certain people. And so I'm okay with eating the ones that I have to eat. Because again, the math is supposed to math over time, right? But yeah, I just know that I've gotten the double bye before, and coming in for the first game of the tournament, there's a little bit of like, okay, I got to get used to this. And so I'm glad that we got this one out of the way, right? We needed to get this game, and now we need to, you know, build on that in a lot of ways.
Go to Brendan in the front middle again, please, and then RL in the front middle.
Hey, Coach.
Hi.
You were asked about how you guys held Wagner in check today. I know they're two different players, but how do you use that defensive strategy against Wagner against a player like Tanaya Latson tomorrow?
You know, we've played them before, so, you know, that gives us, there's a familiarity because we've played her before. I think you ask any team on the schedule that they've played how you handle Latson, and they say they do their best. Right? I mean, she's leading the nation in scoring. But in terms of our actual kind of the nuance of our game plan, that's what I'll be doing from now until tomorrow at 11 a.m. Right? So I'm not exactly sure how we're going to choose to handle that yet, but we'll be crystal clear by the time we need to be.
We'll stay in the front with RL, please.
You said you were getting texts from Alyssa. Are you getting any texts from Renaya?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, these kids want to play. I mean, they want to play, no doubt. You know, there's an enormous amount of trust in our sport performance team. They also want to do something special in March, so we're asking these guys to do a little bit more so that you know, she can get back and give her as much rest as possible. But yeah, you'll see her again. Renaya wouldn't be warming up if she wasn't going to play again.
We're going to stay in the center, the third row, Marissa in the green.
For the players, obviously you had to get through this when you got a little bit of a scare and came back, but do you guys obviously remember that loss to Florida State? Any extra motivation coming in tomorrow, or just kind of get through the next one?
I think there is. I mean, we've continued to get better throughout the course of this season, and so I feel like we're not the same team that we were back then, and we know what changes we need to make looking back at that game. So I feel like we're going to come ready, and we're going to make the changes that we need to make.
Indya, anything you want to add?
Oh, no. I agree with Lexi.
Yeah, sounds good. Just wanted to
I remember
give
I
you
was
the
asked, I think, is it International Women's Day today or something? Is today the actual day? Okay. Because they asked me who my most inspirational woman was, and I said that my little 9-year-old daughter, who's here today. She's a big Indya Nivar fan, so she had her Indya Nivar jersey on today. You're supposed to be at school, babe. But she's our best fan, so we had to have her here.
Do we have any other questions for UNC? Great. Thank you all.
Oh, you good?
Good.
You can just ask.
We can go.
Up in the huddle, during that fourth quarter, it
Yeah.
was just the players on the floor, and then Renaya comes
Yeah.
off the bench. How in tune is this group and locked in?
Yeah, I mean, look, Renaya's been your floor general for 2 years. I know she missed a lot of time last year with an injury, but she's there. She's the floor general. She understands the pace and tempo of their team. She knows Indya and Lexi's game to a T, and so playing without that position is really a challenge, right? Because and Grace has done a great job. It's just she plays it differently. So that means it's a little bit different for Lexi and a little bit different for Indya and a little bit different for everybody else. There's a major adjustment. Losing Alyssa is hurts your heart in other ways, right? The toughness, the relentlessness, right? But the ball isn't always, she's not the facilitator of action, right? And so the fact that these guys have been able to battle without, and how hard they've had to play, just adjusting to a totally new style, has been remarkable. And it should make us better because now they can play at, depending on who's in at certain times, they can play both ways. But it is different. I give these guys a lot of credit. They've just had to sort of adjust quickly. But yeah, Renaya, she knew, down 9, she had something to say because it's still a team that she's sort of running from her position. I know she's thrilled the longer we keep playing, the more games she gets to play too.
Anything else?
Thanks, guys. Go Heels.
Thanks, y'all. A little less than 10 minutes left in UNC's open locker room if anyone is planning to take advantage of that.